He's an LSU grad and a trained geologist, but his real passion is horses. And last year, trainer Al Stahl engineered one of the biggest upsets in all of thoroughbred racing. And he did it from his campaign headquarters. Al Stahl was raised in Louisiana with a love of all things bayou. But after a trip with his dad and grandfather to Louisiana Downs, there was one thing he's never been able to get out of his blood.
We started, just me and my brother and some friends of ours, just basically young kids betting, goofing around. The fairgrounds was something we did all the time because of my grandfather and father's involvement. But once we got our own taste of it, we made our way out here on our own, whether we could drive or not. So, but been doing it forever, day one. Been here Thanksgiving Day, for every Thanksgiving for as long as I can remember, most probably literally over 40 years.
And it wasn't just the winner's circle or what you would call the fun stuff. Stahl was there to bathe horses on those muggy Louisiana days, muck stalls, or whatever needed to be done. It was a work ethic that caught the eye of trainer Frankie Brothers, who gave Stahl a job.
He worked very hard and just had to be there more than anything else, and you pick it up on your own. I mean, he had a claimant stable with stake horses, kind of like what we have here. You just see every kind of injury, and he always had a lot of volume. When we were at Louisiana Downs, he had well over 100 horses. And you just got to see everything. Horses that were trained well, trained poorly, looked good, looked bad, top of the line horses, bottom of the barrel, just, so just got to see everything, and it was just a lot of exposure.
Stahl took that experience and used it when he began training on his own. He had success in places from Louisiana to Keeneland and Churchill Downs, and that got him noticed. It also got him some horses from historic Claiborne Farm. But that all changed when he got a call from the man who runs the historic Paris, Kentucky operation, Seth Hancock.
He just called me up and said, I want to meet with you, and I thought the worst, and he said, I want to give you all the horses. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll take that. We met at a Panera Bread in Frankfort, Kentucky right there, and that's when he did it, and we started off that winter and kind of limped along for a while, and all of a sudden in the first crop we had a horse named Terrain, and Blame was in the first crop, and we've had some nice horses ever since.
And in that first crop of horses was a spectacular-looking colt named Blame. He was being pointed toward the Kentucky Derby, but a foot abscess only delayed his run to glory. It was a championship trail, though, that Stahl had traveled with horses whose pedigree didn't come close to Blame, going from the fairgrounds in the winter to Keeneland to Churchill Downs and Saratoga.
Well, that's been my circuit for 15 years. I think it's been good for me. I like doing it that way. I think it helps let potential clients know where you are. I see a lot of guys popping around. They'll get a condition book with good purse money, so I'm going there. They'll go there, and they might last a year or two, and they run out of horses there, and they end up going back to where they started. So I just feel like if I stay in Louisiana, stay in Kentucky, that's where I'm connected enough to. We obviously worry about the horse we have at the present time, but you certainly got to think about what might come in the future. So those are the two states where I've always been able to pick up horses and keep this barn full. So I'm going to stick with it.
As the summer and fall went on, Stahl and Mr. Hancock stayed true to the route they'd mapped out for Blame, despite the chance to cash in on big-time paydays. All the while, the hype grew as Blame looked to knock off undefeated Zenyatta. The great race mare was attracting the attention, while Blame was quietly preparing at Keeneland and Churchill Downs. And against a gray night sky, Blame became a legend.
Blame trying to hold on, Blame and Zenyatta. Blame has won it ahead. Zenyatta ran her heart out. But
So just days after winning the Breeders' Cup Classic, Stahl came back to Claiborne Farm to see his champion begin a new career.
That was a very unique kind of a private deal, no press or anything like that. And the van drove up and everybody was there, the whole crew at the farm, and he walked off and we put him in his stall. He went in there and we just let him hang out for a little while. We turned him out in the paddock, and they had guys stationed all over the fence line just to make sure he knew where everything was, and it was very special to see that.
So now Stahl is working hard, training the next crop of Claiborne champions. And even though he's handling the finest horseflesh in the world, his springtime will be spent much the same as it has for the last 2 decades, heading to the track on a cool morning at Keeneland.